Coach Crazy Cat here from South Carolina. Super honored and blessed to be on with my awesome cousin, Ashley Fuller, who's the founder of Team Lee, which is loving everyone eternally. And I love this organization and have such a heart for it. And it's the thing that gets me up out of bed in the morning to try to help fund what Ashley is doing over there. So, Ashley, tell us a little bit about Team Lee and what caused you to start that.
Well, thank you first for having me. Um, my my journey with Team Lee was never in my life plan, but I first traveled to Uganda in 2016 on a mission trip with some friends, and I guess that was kind of like the start of really the rest of my life, which is far more meaningful spiritually. So during that trip, I encountered a world I never knew. I saw it on, TV, National Geographic. You see it, but to be there, to live it, to breathe it, um, it really impacted me in far more ways than I ever anticipated. So, there were so many needs around, so much poverty, schools, education, basic supplies. But what I realized was lacking more than anything was love. Just love, human touch, compassion, kindness. And even as I'm a Southern girl, so we hug a lot and we love and we touch. But over there, I would go and I would love and I would hug, and they would be so shocked by the reaction that I was, willing to touch them, and I was really blessed by that. Um, but really, I was impacted at a very personal, deep level because here in America, I would not be considered wealthy, by American standards. So I went there and I thought I'm not wealthy. I need to save up for this trip. But when I, you know, saw where the people lived and I walked with them and I entered their homes, I realized, oh, I'm very wealthy. And so my definition of wealth really changed. And I was just personally motivated to more of what I had to others. And I realized, pretty much instantly that I was very blessed and I had far more, and I was very motivated to share. And so after that trip, it was a 2-week trip. Upon returning home, I didn't yet know what I would do or how, because it just was never an interest to me to start an organization, to lead one. I always preferred being a support person. Yep. And helping other organizations, and you need those people. Everybody needs those people in an organization, and I was so happy to step up to that kind of role. But to be in the lead position was not an interest for me at all. It felt like just too much responsibility, and in a foreign land with a culture I didn't know, I realized this is just too much for me to take on. Yeah. But this became very evident. This was the path God was leading me on, and it was, it was my choice to make. But He put it before me, and it has not been easy. Yeah. I've learned a lot. I'm still learning. But yes, 2016 was the year that started it.
Wow. And so now roll forward 2020, you've put in notice at work and you're going to be moving to Uganda, God willing, in the next couple of months. So how is that? What's the scariest part and the rewarding part about that?
Well, it's both. It's rewarding and it's scary all at once, like all the time. For me, the biggest challenge has been overcoming me. Like, you work, you get a career, you accumulate things you need to live comfortably. vehicle, house, furniture, you know, and then now I've got to get rid of all that. And you know, it's hard because I'm like, you know, packing things and I'm like, do I need this, or could I sell this and have money for Uganda? So it's really hard personally just to get rid of everything like at once. So some days I'm like, I've got this, and other days I'm like, oh, I want my stuff. But it's relieving to, you know, to leave behind the, you know, the career that I worked for in the medical field. You know, I did enjoy it. It was rewarding too, but that kind of level of stress behind, especially during this time of COVID, is nice to be away from that. I will be moving to a remote village in northern Uganda. My spiritual son there has already started hand making bricks for my hut, so I will be living alongside them and in a little hut. And you know, there's refreshing aspects to that, as I've stayed in the village in a hut before, and you know, you don't have the running water or the electricity, and that can be challenging.
Yeah.
You know, I love my coffee in the morning. It just becomes harder. You know, prepare a fire, go collect my water, and you know, wait a while to get my coffee. But you know, there's a peacefulness just out in nature. There's no rushing off to work or this appointment or that appointment, and it's just kind of like, for me, it's just stripping it all down to really spending time with God and the path He put me on.
Yeah. And you had talked about too living in a hut, so you're going to be living just like everyone else there. You're not going to come over and live in American standards. You're going to go out and make your water, and it's
Right.
a lot.
Right. The mosquitoes are a lot.
Yeah. Well, we take
at night.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry. What was that?
The mosquitoes are a lot at night, but yeah, it feels, you know, I know God put this in my heart because it feels so normal and natural.
Yep.
And just right, and I'm not questioning or concerned about the lack of the basic necessities that I'm used to.
Yeah.
I'm just not. It's not there. The worry's not there. So I know this is the right path for me. And I'm excited. You know, God has taught me a lot about a whole new culture that I've really learned to love. And being patient and taking time to build relationships with people, to earn their trust. These things take time, and I realize me living there will be a significant, it'll make a significant impact on those things. And certainly I call them my family. They are my family. I have many children and women and even men there that call me Mama Ashley. So, you know, if I assume that role, really, then I need to, you know, live it out just as they do. And so I don't want to go there and say, I love you, we are the same, and live differently. So, yeah.
I know we're working on building a school and doing some other things. What's the number one thing you're going to be working on when you move? What's your first focus area?
Honestly, my first focus area is the spending time and building relationships, because none of the rest will come. None of the rest will come. It's such a different culture. But second would be a well for water.
Yeah.
Which is a project that's been underway for over a year now. So
wow,
things take time. But yes, because that well will make a significant impact on the surrounding villagers.
Got it. Yeah. Water is one of those things we take for granted in this country too. We just turn on our tap and there it is, but it's not.
I know.
It's crazy, isn't it?
It is.
Well, we were talking about this a little bit ahead of time, but I just personally, I'm just so grateful for what Ashley's doing, and And I think she's so brave for moving to another country because I couldn't do that. What I do every day scares me enough, but moving to another country, I'm just like, oh my goodness. But I'm so grateful and blessed to be able to be a part of Team Lee in whatever way God pulls us together to be able to